in an astronomical bid that is even more money than EA being bought out for $55 billion from Saudi Arabia's PIF, Warner Brothers is being purchased in a bid by Netflix. Netflix agreed to buy the entire property, or like everything that Warner Brothers owns. Hi, this is ZeroEchoZenith coming to you live at time of recording, and this is more homogenization of media, like in our entire culture. Let's read. This is off of Dexerto. Is Netflix buying Warner Brothers? Why the bidding war isn't over just yet. I guess they believe that it's not quite over. It's official. Netflix is the winning bidder for Warner Brothers for the cool total value of $82.7 billion. Chat, you will never see this in your life. Unless you work hard. Hopefully I'll see that in my life, because I'll work hard. But beyond the headlines and the endless memes, the bidding war is not over quite yet. For the uninitiated. Me, I guess I wasn't paying attention to this. I didn't know exactly who was going to buy Warner Brothers. Warner Bros., formerly known as Time Warner, and changed to Warner Media, was acquired by AT&T back in 2018 for $85 billion. Oh! That's even more! I had no idea it was owned by AT&T either. Okay. Combining its distribution network into content from HBO, Warner Bros., and CNN. Oh, okay. I didn't know CNN was also underneath that. But the 2018 mega merger didn't deliver the synergy AT&T hoped for. Womp womp. And with mounting debt and strategic clashes, Warner Media and Discovery merged in 2022. Yeah, okay, I understand that. Just a few years later, the company announced its plan to split up its divisions once again. Yes, I do remember the entire shakeup. Yeah, that's right, David Zaslav, he came in, I guess in like 2022 or something, and he was like, this is canceled, Coyote and Acme. Batgirl was canceled. This was like ready to go. Scoob, like a Scooby-Doo movie, just a bunch of stuff that he was just like, nope, chop, yeah, get rid of that. He was trying to cut through a lot of the potentially terribly written movies that were coming out. I don't know exactly how many were well written or badly written. It doesn't really matter. He was just trying to be like, no, all of this is just absolute trash. We have to stop. We just have to scrap this stuff because it was probably going to lose more money for them. Actually, well, Batgirl was, like I just said, Batgirl was already finished at that point. It could have just been released, but it might have just been a stinker. It might have been really bad. So I can see why that it was axed. Then in September 2025, which was very recent, reports surfaced that David Ellison's Paramount Skydance was exploring a bid to acquire the entirety of Warner Bros. Discovery, following its own merger. I kind of remember that too, yeah. What followed was a bidding war with titans like Comcast and Netflix getting involved. Okay, maybe I do remember Comcast and Netflix kind of starting to like bid for that. I just never thought that Netflix would be the winner. Yet again, it's not really surprising because Netflix is gigantic, but they're also kind of losing money too. Is Netflix buying Warner Bros? Well, yeah, as it stands, yes. On December 5th, 2025, it was announced that Netflix and Warner Bros. Discovery have entered into a definitive agreement under which the streaming giant will acquire the studio, including its movie and TV divisions, HBO Max and HBO. Right here, screen time. The whole ideal is valued at $82.7 billion, and this is where things get confusing if you don't speak corporate finance. I don't. Here's what the numbers actually mean. $27.75 per share. This is the price Netflix is paying for each Warner Bros. Discovery share involved in the deal. Okay. $72 billion equity value. This is how much the shares themselves are worth in total. Basically, the value of the company's stock. $82.7 billion enterprise value. This is the equity value plus the company's debt. Enterprise value is the real price of buying a company because you take on what it owes as well as what it owns. Interesting. Okay, so they're taking on their debts as well. What exactly is Netflix buying? Well, this bit is important. Paramount Skydance spent months submitting full buyout offers to purchase all of Warner Bros. Discovery, and WBD rejected them every time. Okay, wow. Netflix, on the other hand, has done something different. It's buying just the Warner Bros. Entertainment assets. Oh, so the thing that everybody cares about. They're just buying the stuff that people care about and leaving everything that they don't even know about or care about. Your average viewer or consumer, if you will. Well, that's smart. including the movie studios, HBO, HBO Max, DC. Oh, they are acquiring DC, WB Television, and the entire film and TV library, but not their games division. I don't know where their games division lies right now. I think they're in limbo currently. Thanks, Suicide Squad. Thanks, all the other games that they were kind of dragging their feet on. You tanked your own studios. Cool. Meanwhile, Discovery, renamed Discovery Global, it's being spun off into a separate publicly traded company. Okay. That split is expected to be completed in the third quarter in 2026. So this is the third financial quarter, so like almost fall next year. And only then will the Netflix acquisition formally close. This allows WBD to offload its biggest debt burden while allowing Netflix to swallow one of the most powerful content libraries in entertainment history. Ted Sarandos, co-CEO of Netflix, said in a statement, "Our mission has always been to entertain the world." By combining Warner Bros.' incredible library of shows and movies, from timeless classics like Casablanca and Citizen Kane, extremely good movies, to modern favorites like Harry Potter and Friends, with their culture-defining titles like Stranger Things, K-pop Demon Hunters, and Squid Game, we'll be able to do that even better. Together, we can give audiences more of what they love and help define the next century of storytelling. That's ambitious. Okay, Netflix has teased that Warner Bros.' theatrical release windows will evolve over time. Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos says, My pushback has been mostly in the fact of the long exclusive windows, which we don't really think are that consumer-friendly. But when we talk about keeping HBO operating, largely as it is, that also includes our output movie deal with Warner Bros., which includes a life cycle that starts in the movie theater, which we're going to continue to support. David Zaslav, there he is again, president and CEO of Warner Bros. Discovery, added, "Today's announcement combines two of the greatest storytelling..." Is that how he sounds? "The greatest storytelling companies in the world to bring to even more people the entertainment they love to watch the most. Movies from more than 15 years ago. For more than a century, Warner Bros. Has thrilled audiences, captured the world's attention, and shaped our culture. By coming together with Netflix, we will ensure people everywhere will continue to enjoy the world's most resonant stories for generations to come." Essentially, if and when the deal closes, Netflix won't just own the world's largest streaming platform, it will now control the IP behind Harry Potter, Game of Thrones / House of the Dragon, The Last of Us. Just play the first game. DC Universe, yep. Succession, I don't even know what that is. Dune. I actually liked the new Dune movies. They were pretty cool. Rick and Morty. Ugh. I never got into Rick and Morty. The Conjuring. Oh yeah, that horror flick. Mortal Kombat. What have you even done with Mortal Kombat? I know that there's like movies or TV movies that they've been coming out with, and honestly, I've never seen anybody talk about them. Batman. Yeah, Reeves, animated, and legacy library. Batman, my beloved. What will they do with you now? It is the single biggest content acquisition in streaming history. Yep, I basically just read this. Beloved franchises, shows, and movies such as The Big Bang Theory, Bazinga, The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, The Wizard of Oz, and the DC Universe will join Netflix's extensive portfolio, including Wednesday, Money Heist, Bridgerton, Adolescence, and Extraction. Netflix then made a few key points about its plans for Warner Bros. Studios, HBO, and HBO Max, stating that it intends to leave those operations in place rather than absorb or dismantle them. Significantly, it stresses that, at least for now, Warner Bros. Will still release movies in theaters, which suggests it doesn't plan to shift everything into streaming only. Okay, I guess they will still release, movie theatrical experiences at the movie theater, but then it'll probably just immediately shift to Netflix instead of having to wait a little bit longer or something. Okay. The exclusivity on Netflix, though, for DC properties, for Harry Potter, or just anything else of Warner Bros., that is a big deal. That is a big deal for Netflix, yes. Netflix hasn't explained how it plans to merge HBO Max's content into its own platform. I don't know, because it's a different streaming thing, unless it's just going to be like a, Order this Netflix plan and you will get access to HBO, HBO Max, and CNN or something. Only that Warner Bros.' library and HBO programming will become part of Netflix's offering once the deal closes. Unless they just get rid of HBO. How many monolithic entities will own every single IP that you know and love? Amazon, Netflix, Disney. It's just going to become like 3 companies, super gigantic companies that owns everything. That's what this is. People have been pointing this out for years. So many years. And this is yet another step in that direction. I don't feel great about that. I like competition. But then again, when you had to pay for like 6 streaming services just to get the same kind of content that you originally had with buying DVDs, I don't know, buying DVD collections, going online, cable, it gets to a point where, well, may as well. It's still a flat fee. Even though, didn't Netflix recently increase their prices too? Didn't Disney? Wait, Disney did. Yeah, Disney did. Disney Plus. The company also claims that owning Warner Bros. Outright will boost its ability to make content in the US, effectively letting Netflix become a full-scale Hollywood studio rather than just a distributor. Wow, amazing. You've really stepped up your game, Netflix. You used to become a DVD rental website, and now you're on your way to becoming one of the big boys in Hollywood. Even though Netflix and Warner Bros. Discovery has agreed to the buyout, it's far from a done deal. Okay, and then this is Digzerdo's own opinion on this, and could face months of political and regulatory pushback. Deals of this size require approval from regulators in the U.S. and internationally, and the New York Times' Andrew Ross Sorkin notes that the entire transaction is hardly done, with a lengthy regulatory battle likely. Sorkin explained that whether the merger is approved will come down to how the government defines the market Netflix operates in. If regulators decide Netflix and HBO Max both sit in a narrow subscription streaming category, the combined company could look too dominant and the deal might be blocked. Exactly. They're like, you own most entertainment properties, kind of like how Disney owns most entertainment properties, kind of like how Microsoft owns most gaming companies. But if the market is defined more broadly, like eyeballs on video, including YouTube and social platforms, hi YouTube, the merger suddenly looks less threatening to competition. The political side could also prove complex, as Paramount's Skydance, whose repeated takeover bids essentially forced WBD to solicit other offers, is already accusing Warner Bros. Discovery of unfairly favoring Netflix. I'm not even really sure where the money is going to go once it's bought. The NYT report states that Paramount may try to lobby the Trump administration to intervene on antitrust grounds, which is notable given David Ellison's father, Larry Ellison, has been a major Trump financial backer. Okay, wait, where are they trying to take the conversation then? Wouldn't this just be about not wanting to make this a monopoly of entertainment products? There's also the broader FCC landscape to consider. A Trump-led FCC has already signaled aggressive scrutiny of media companies, previously threatening Comcast's broadcast licenses after the Jimmy Kimmel controversy. We should be critical of the things that we are buying into and consuming as, consumers. Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product. As a customer, we should understand, hey, if Netflix now has access to all of HBO and you have to buy Netflix, but you don't really want Netflix, you're locked out of all of the stuff that you do want. It's removing choices from people. That's the double-edged sword in all of this. Too many streaming companies that you have to pay a flat fee for, which is insane. It's so insane because the fees are increasing in price. But then now the other side of that is you only get 2 or 3 choices and that's it. You get all the stuff you don't want because you just want this one thing. You may as well stock up on DVDs. Honestly, the crux of this is you should just buy physical media. Go online and buy physical media. I bought the entire Muppets collection recently and I don't regret it. This is just pushing people into getting physical media more and more. Oh, it's a waste of space, waste of plastic, blah, blah, blah. You know, just saying. I'm just saying, you know, like, I could reduce the amount of space that you have getting an HDD. And I'm leaving it at that. Netflix Warner Bros. Deal would be infinitely larger and more politically charged. Yep. In short, Netflix may have the winning bid, but regulatory approval is the real final boss. We'll have to wait and see in the months to come how it all pans out. In the meantime, read about Jimmy Kimmel. No, I'm not going to. I don't care. Netflix is about to become a player in the Hollywood space, buying Warner Bros. And all of its properties. The biggest ones being these. The absolute largest properties in the last 15, 20 years. We'll have to see where this goes, where streaming services are going to continue to push towards, and whether or not people continue to cancel their subscriptions because prices just keep going up and people are losing options. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. This is ZeroEchoZenith signing off. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next time. For your New Year's resolution, you should check what you're actually buying and paying for online, seeing how many streaming services you're paying for, and see if you need to cut back. Words of wisdom.